I lied to them.
I heard that.
They'll never know. Wasn't this a pretty lake? We came to show you guys another wonderful spot to come hiking and backpacking here in Jasper National Park. And I'm standing right now in front of the first lake of Geraldine Lakes. I booked this trip a few months ago, early on in the year, because I wanted to finish exploring the entire area surrounding Mount Fryatt. Mount Fryatt is a 3,300 meter mountain that stands in the middle of a huge formation. There's multiple valleys that come up here. Last year, we did the Fryatt Valley, all the way to multiple campsites and the ACC hut. This weekend, we are actually staying beside the Geraldine Second Lake. So I brought all my backpacking stuff. I'm gonna stay out there, and then I'm gonna keep going into the back of this valley, and we're gonna go and explore that whole back area. This will be fun and exciting, a cool backpacking trip for you guys to come and check out, because this is really not a busy place in Jasper, and neither is Fryatt Valley either. And it should be more so busy because it's such a great place to come and enjoy. So we did an easy 2 kilometers here to get to the first lake. Then all you gotta do is cross the first Geraldine Lakes, and there's a little bit of a bouldering section. Then there's a steep section to get up the head wall, the small head wall, and then there's the head wall to get up to the second lake. That's way bigger and steeper. So I'll show you guys all that. So follow us, and we'll keep hiking and show you guys all the features you want to see here at Geraldine Lakes and the campground and Mount Fryatt all the way to the back. Look at that. My pole was not able to touch the bottom of that deep pool of water here. And this is the waterfall that leads down from the second plateau all the way down to the first Geraldine Lake. Quite the impressive little spot. The trail really doesn't follow through here, but there's a lot of like little scout spots directly into these waterfalls. It's the first head wall to get up. So this one here, just take your time. There's a lot of roots and trees and rocks, and there's pretty good footholds. You're not climbing up this. You're maybe 5 to 10 meters away from the creek. You can hear it the whole time. Gorgeous little spot here. Let's keep on hiking up the trail and see what else we can find here. is the wonderful Geraldine Lake's Falls. It's been a while since I've seen this one, and still as pretty as the first day we seen it, but all that water is coming down from the Second Geraldine Lakes. It trickles down here and it's been eroding in a nice smooth surface here for a couple thousand years for sure, and all that water goes all the way back down to the first Geraldine Lake, which carries on all the way down to the Athabasca River. This is kind of like a natural air conditioning. It's pretty cold here right now because I'm in the shade, and on plus of that, there's cold water coming down. So it's really nice to get a cool breeze. But we just wanted to do a little pit stop here because we'd been here before. Check out my channel if you want to see how difficult it is with 2 kids and a dog to get here. Don't bring your pets here. And if you have your kids, you have to make sure that they're old enough to do the whole hike by themselves, because there's a whole lot of boulders on that flat section after the first lake. So let's keep getting up there. I'll show you guys what the second lake looks like, and then we can camp there for the night. Pretty windy today at the Second Geraldine Lake. Quite the gorgeous place. Wow, this is amazing. Recommend to everybody if you want to come here. It's great wilderness. You're in Jasper National Park and it's not used very well. I think that we're alone here right now, and this is Labor Day long weekend. I know it's not exactly summer, but it's still kind of warm. So it's a good remote spot. It's not busy, but to get to the second lake, it's quite the grunt. There's all of these boulders. This is just a little rock, it's not a boulder, but you're walking on fields of these. You have to have some good trail recognition. There's some cairns kind of all over the place, but always double check your maps. Sometimes you just lose the trail completely because there's a boulder field. At the far other end of this lake is where the campground is. So we're gonna go check that out and set up camp. Also, if you come here, there's Whirlpool Mountain that's right beside us there. And from the backside, it's kind of a nice, even gradient slope all the way up from the campground at the other end of the lake. You could just beeline in a straight line, and if you like bagging summits when you come backpacking, that seems like a fairly easy one to do. So let's see if we can get to the other end of that lake and show you guys the campground. this is the waterfall you're gonna find just before you get to the third lake. It's not quite literally a waterfall in the sense, it's more like a cascading waterfall. Nonetheless, it's still really pretty and extremely noisy. When you come to these places here, make more noise than normal because these noisy waterfalls really mute the noise of you walking around, and sometimes the animals can't hear them. All right, well, let's keep hopping on the trail. We'll get up there and look at the third lake and the fourth lake and all the way up to the pass, and I have a feeling we're gonna find a lot more of these along the way. Well, this, I think it's unofficially called Geraldine Third Lake. And there's actually a fourth lake back in behind there. So we're gonna go try to see if we can cross the little creek back there to see if we can get to the fourth lake. I think it's possible. People laid down some branches and moved some rocks around to try to get across relatively easily, but there's no like official bridge built by Park Canada. And it's a gorgeous little spot here. You can see the Whirlpool Mountain on one side, and then this is kind of where the tree line ends. You can see at the far back there's actually meadows that are facing Mount Fryatt, but we really can't see the top of Mount Fryatt today. So the trail from the campsite to here, it's a little bit easier because there's less boulders, but it's still not easy to navigate. You kind of have to pay attention where you're going and kind of look at some of the markers and some of the footprints. It's not an easy trail that you can just walk and not pay attention to where you're going and just follow the path, because you'll veer off pretty easily. But definitely a worthwhile hike, especially if you're camping here. Back there's a bivvy. So that bivvy site is well known as a place that you can go and climb Mount Fryatt. Not hiking, definitely climbing. In between that little ridge that comes up and Mount Fryatt, there's some glaciers that are in there. That was actually reminiscent of Quadra Mountain at the very end of Constellation Lakes. There's that same shape, it's just that this is a lot smaller. It's kind of cool how you'll see similar formations and shapes when you spend enough time in the mountains. Traveling on these undefined trails in boulder country, when it rains, it's very, very dangerous. So tread lightly when you come backpacking here at the Geraldine Lakes. Well, we carry on in the rain and came all the way to the fourth lake. You can almost see in front of me that pass where you could get a good view of Mount Fryatt. If you go around the entire fourth lake, you're gonna find a little meadow at the other end, and that just is kind of wide open and you can go all the way up. I feel almost like the Geraldine Lakes campground should have been here because it made a slightly nicer place and it's kind of wide open here. They would have had to build a slightly better trail, and the trail to get to the Geraldine Lakes is not the greatest to begin with. So, well, this is the last of the Geraldine Lakes, number 4. Let's keep hiking up the rest of the trail, see what we can find. Well, this place It's full of surprises. The further you go, actually the easier the trail gets. We kind of weaseled through a short little trail and we went around Geraldine Fork Lake and we found this. And this is actually water that's coming down feeding the 4th Geraldine Lake. The trail here is actually quite nice. I think the people that come through here is because they're going to Mount Fryatt. It's not very well established, but you can kind of follow openings. But if you have your maps and you use common sense, it's fairly easy to get up here. There's actually a fairly defined trail here that goes up, and it goes up and up and up around this waterfall. And then from there, you can get some serious elevation. I think we're gonna be going up to like the 2,300 meter mark. And then from there, we should have a good 360 view of that whole area in Mount Fryatt. It's still cloudy and overcast today, but even if it's overcast and raining, we can still see these cool waterfalls. Well, this is the high pass here, standing right in front of Mount Fryatt. You can see behind me there's the 4th Geraldine Lake, and then there's a 3rd one, and the 2nd one, all the way down. Relatively easy trails once you've passed the 2nd lake. The 3rd and 4th are actually pretty easy, and we found a trail that leaded all the way up to this cool little meadow, and from here, you could keep going for probably days. It looks like there's a pass that goes that way, then there's another pass that goes that way, and then on the far side over there, there's kind of a bivvy site for people that go up to Mount Fryatt. You could even go down this little valley here and cut over and go see the glaciers that are forming and coming down off of Mount Fryatt. It looks a lot like Edith Cavell. It's just so much bigger. This whole area is twice the size as all the ridges from Edith Cavell. It's quite impressive. We're cold and getting wet here from this constant drizzle that we've had all day. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video to show you one of the hard hikes and a harder backpacking, but well worth your time, especially if you come here and get a couple days to kind of explore this entire area. And these are the Geraldine Lakes here in Jasper National Park. And I'm Eric Tremblay, and these are my adventures. Peace out. Yo, yeah, yo, yeah, yo, yeah, yo.